I'm Stacey Williams-Ung, maker of the Rhythm and Soul Tarot. Today you are going to join me on my porch swing, talking about porch cards in the tarot. You will be able to find a full explanation that I wrote for porch cards on pages 44 and 45 of the book, but I'm just going to tell you in my own words today. What I ended up finding was that I was featuring the front porch more and more, because why wouldn't I? Southerners spend half their life on the front porch, usually to escape the heat. I'm sitting here in the fall, so I actually have a sweater on, but usually it's to escape the heat, but it's also for community. And so even the humblest of houses, even the richest of houses, many of them feature porches in the architecture, just because it's such a huge part of the culture down here, and it's a major selling point on a house. Now, um, I have 3 porch cards in the majors and 3 in the minors. They're not evenly distributed. Are they're really attached to meaning more. So for example, there are no porch cards in the axes suit. There just aren't, which is the equivalent of the swords. We only have them in the blues suit, which is water, which is cups, and in the roots suit, 1, which is about home. The porch cards give the card an additional meaning, which makes it tie back to the concept of home. Okay, so let's go through them one at a time. Let's start with the majors. The first one is card number 1, which is the Magician. So in the Magician card, he's not really on a porch per se, but he is in front of a very humble cabin that he presumably lives or does his workings in, and he is standing on the dirt floor out front. This is still a gathering place, and so I still consider it a porch card. Now, the magician is about having all the tools you need, being able to do whatever it is you want. Well, by making this a porch card, I added the concept of home to that. So now you might ask yourself, what did my upbringing, what do my set of moral values, or what does my home provide me in terms of my ability to produce or manifest? The next one is the Emperor, which in my deck is called the Pawpaw. So the Pawpaw card shows the Pawpaw sitting on the front porch in a more classical way. And he's even got a fiddle behind him, if you notice, in the shadows, which makes him a musical grandpa. He's more like an Appalachian grandpa or Pawpaw, who might be playing the fiddle later for the whole family, and everyone might dance. And that's been going on for generations and still happens in the South. So the Emperor card, the number 4 card, 4 corners of a box, 4 corners of a square. It's like a foundation. So many people think of all the 4 cards, and especially the Emperor, as being the card that's about setting the rules and setting the foundation. Again, this goes back to home. The Pawpaw is really just about those things in general. What are your home values? What in your home is the definition of boundaries, right? That's the Emperor card, or the Pawpaw. Third major arcana card that is a porch is the equivalent of Temperance. It's called the Harmony card because it's a musical deck. So Temperance in some decks is called the Art card. It's always about alchemy. It's always about mixing the right ingredients. Yeah. So the Harmony card here is about harmonizing in music. So it is a very similar concept to Temperance or balance, but it has to do with artistically balancing something, being able to bring in something until it creates a perfect harmony, a perfect symphony of working parts. They are on a porch. Okay, so to me, adding the porch element to this has to do with creating harmony between your home life and your outside life. This is where the porch really plays into being a liminal space. Limn is the Latin word for a doorway or a portal. So whenever you hear the term liminal space, it means it's something between this and that. It's like a door. It's between the inside and the outside. And the porch, quite literally, holds your front door. I mean, it is really that space where you are on somebody's property, but you are not in their house. You're neither inside nor outside. So if we're talking about balancing that, creating that liminal space that is harmonizing, it means that you're balancing your home life with your outside life, or not. The 4 of Blues. The 4 of Cups and the 4 of Blues in this deck has to do with not just boredom, but complacency, stuckness, feeling like it's just not enough. In my deck, it's got this fellow who is down on his luck. He's potentially maybe a sharecropper. I was inspired by sharecropper tradition because that's where blues music came from. And so maybe he's living during Jim Crow laws. He's got a lot on his back. Okay. So he's not just bored in the sense of the way a rich person would be bored. He is apathetic. He just doesn't know what else he can do. Right. And so he feels stuck and he feels like he's at a place where he can't move. So here we are on the porch. He's got 3 empty beer cans and 1 full beer can. So it's almost like all hope is not lost because he has that 1 more beer can, but obviously beer is not his answer. So home is where we reflect on this problem. Home is where we gather our wits and build our strength to go out there and fight the fight. So the question here for this character and for you, if you pull this card, is how can you refresh and reset at home or inside of yourself in order to go back out there into the world and fight? Get recharged. All right, then there's the 10 of blues. Another blues card is a porch card. And this is a very different kind of porch, right? Now we have a family who has everything they want. They have a dog. They're a multi-generational family with strong bonds. They're wearing nice clothes. So they have disposable income. They have health and they have each other. So this is a card about fullness. It's about all your dreams come true, right? And so the fact that that is being celebrated on the porch really brings us back to the idea of when we take family photos like this, we are celebrating home. We're celebrating family. We're celebrating the strength that comes from our family that allows us to make all those dreams come true. Now let's jump to the last one, which is in the roots suit. The roots suit is the equivalent of pentacles. It's all our earthly needs and concerns. And here we have another grandparent. We talked about the granddad. And in this one, I've pictured my very own grandma, Alice, and she's holding 6 biscuits. Now, the 6 of Pentacles is typically about generosity to the poor. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you see someone giving alms to the poor kind of a thing. But here we have a very different situation. This is a grandma giving biscuits. Maybe it's after church on Sunday and she skipped church to be home to make Sunday dinner and everyone shows up and she comes out onto the porch to welcome them with that basket of biscuits. So are you the one being generous when you draw this card or are you the one receiving generosity? The question is, again, if you want to bring the porch card element into it, you bring in the aspect of family. What is your role in the family? And is someone in your family being generous to you or even maybe supporting you during hard times? So that's really what you want to meditate on a card like this is how is family supporting you or how are you giving back to family if you choose to take the aspect of a porch card into your reading. So there you have it. I hope that clarifies what I mean by porch cards. And again, it's written about in the guidebook on pages 44 and 45.